Hi, welcome to Uniquity. I'm Laura Janes. Every week we answer your questions on financial services, brands and marketing. Today we answer a question from Jason Butler, and he's asked, how do I devise customer personas and how do I use them in marketing strategy and content? I think customer personas are a brilliant tool for getting into a customer mindset. For me, a customer persona is a representation of your ideal customer or customer groups with useful information about who they are, where they come from, and what they truly believe in. To create really great customer personas does involve a level of work. I've created customer personas for building websites, for building content, and all sorts of things. If I was going as in depth as I wanted to on customer personas, this is the process I would follow. Firstly, I would start with quantitative analysis. So looking at the data that I hold on a company's customer. So that would involve downloading all the information they have about customers from a database and probably using something like Excel to go through and analyse that information. I'd be looking for trends on particular customer groups, but I'd also be looking for things like who are the most profitable customer segments, how's that changed over time, and things like that. Once I had that quantitative information, I'd move into more of a qualitative stage. Qualitative research tends to involve speaking to end customers, and this really is the best way of understanding who your customers are. So in an ideal situation, that would mean going out, interviewing your customers and finding out what their true drivers are, what they're all about, and what's meaningful for them in the context of your business. Once I had that quantitative and qualitative information together, there would be a period of analysis where I'd be pulling all of that information together to make it into something meaningful. I tend to try and do a manageable number of customer personas. So I would say around 3 to 5, ideally 3 to keep it simple. And then I would be looking to represent those personas in some sort of document. This is one we did a while ago for a financial planning firm, and this is a particular segment around retirees, and a particular segment of retirees who've had particularly high-flying careers, are looking at that point where they're about to retire. And the representation of the research we did and the analysis does contain some demographic information on their age, where they live and how much they're worth, all of those sorts of things, which makes targeting them in advertising more easier, but it also contains a lot of emotive information, like what do they truly desire and what are their key drivers, because this will help me shape marketing messages that are really going to appeal to them. And one thing that came out in this particular group of retirees was the importance of health and fitness and all of the things they do around that. Another nice thing that we've included here is the types of brands that they are really into. So these particular ones love Mercedes, John Lewis, Waitrose, and British Airways. And we got that from talking to the customers direct. Now, I can understand that doing this amount of research for a customer persona is very in-depth. They're absolutely brilliant and now can be used in every single piece of marketing or proposition design or service design that we do for that customer. But if you're just looking to start somewhere, there are templates for personas online, but a lot of them just use the demographic information and don't go that much into the emotional drivers of customers. So I think the best approach, if you just want to start somewhere and do something basis, is what's called an empathy map. And here's a copy of the template we use for empathy mapping. Empathy mapping is similar to a persona, but it's more thinking about what the customers really think and feel and their pain points and all of those sorts of things. So it's a simplified version. There's a copy of this you can download on our website. What I would do is try and think about your priority customer segments that you have. So maybe think about 3 or 4 customer segments that you have within your business, and then create one of these for each of those. And there's 4 different segments. So it's things like what do they think and feel? So what really matters to those customers? What major preoccupations do they have? What worries and aspirations? What do they see? So what's the environment they're working in or living in? What other competitors are offering to them? What they might use to find financial information? What do they say and do? So things like what brands do they buy? What are their attitudes? Where do they live? And then also who are they influenced by? So like, you know, are they listening to their friends, their boss, and whatever that might be? And then perhaps the most important part is this bit down the bottom, which is pains and gains. So what are their fears, frustrations, and obstacles, and specifically in the context of their finances? And then what are the gains, their wants and needs, and their measures of success? And this is the bit where you can think about what is it that you can offer to them. And I think you can make a starting point with these without having to do the end customer research. Of course, if you want to make them really in depth, then some end customer research can be really, really useful. The other little basic thing that you can do, and this is a representation of it just behind me here. So at the moment we're working on a financial website for an online advice service. And one of the key target segments in that is women between the ages of 30 and 40. And so we started just creating what I call a mood board for those kind of customers. So literally you've just gone through magazines looking for things that might appeal to this customer segment. And we've started, you know, thinking about what's important to them. So healthy food, family, a lovely home, being outdoors, and then maybe picking out some words as well that are really relevant in the context for them. And this is just a nice way of starting to try and get inspired and to visualise the mindset of a customer. So hopefully those 3 things give you some idea with where to start. Obviously, if you can and have the time and the money, absolutely do detailed research personas with quantitative and qualitative information. If you just want to start somewhere, then the empathy map or a mood board is a fantastic way to start. And then you can use that mood board or the empathy map to start creating ideas for your marketing and start structuring your marketing plan. I look forward to seeing you next week. Don't forget, if you have any questions, you can tweet me at Uniquity_co. I look forward to seeing you then.